Hey everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for checking me out yet again. If this is your second return, third, fourth, or fifth, if this is your first appearance, thank you for joining me. If you're checking out this video, it's most likely because you are interested in ear stretching journeys. Whether you want to begin one or just curious about mine, thank you for joining me. So anyway, in this video, I will be doing a Q&A regarding my ear stretching journey. These are questions that I typically gotten asked either via social media or personally, and some questions that I think it would be helpful for those who would like to begin their ear stretching journey. Okay, so I tried to keep it in order, but look, I wrote it on the back of like a receipt. Like, you know, when things come to your mind, let me just put it down, you know what I mean? So that's how it happened. So anywho, like, it's just all scribble scratch, chicken scratch, but I'm just gonna try and give you all the best of me, you know what I mean? I tried to do it in order of what I think, and then like the real things started popping up, so they all added on the side. So I try and keep it as consistent as possible. So one, I want to tell you why I decided to begin my ear stretching journey. So a big backstory. I was raised in Midtown Manhattan. When I first moved to New York, I was living in Chelsea as a young girl with my gay father and my little sister. And living in Chelsea, we used to go to the Village, you know, to the piers, and you see a lot of like punk rock people. It always caught my attention. Something about piercings always, you know, just, I don't know, it's just always been a thing for me. I've always been obsessed with piercings, tattoos, just based off of being exposed to the Village and Chelsea and, you know, just living in New York, period. Midtown Manhattan, you're exposed to a bunch of different personalities, and I was exposed to it at a young age, and I love the uniqueness about it. You know, it's not a contemporary kind of, or a modern kind of look, more so to contemporary. And as far as I can remember, I was never about anybody's wave. I'm all about being unique, and you don't have to try too hard to be unique. You just be you. And I just love individuality and bold statements and expressions through visual, you know, appearance to describe who you are. So like with me, that's just a part of my personality. Like, I'm very conservative on certain things, traditional when certain things are into place, but the tattoos, the piercings lets you know that I have a bit of a wild side, a bit of a freaky side, a bit of unconservative side that I really enjoy. So I get to share those things very subtly. So I wanted to start my ear stretching journey because it's something I always wanted to do. The reason why it took me so long was because I just didn't want to stretch my first ear hole. Like, I just didn't want to do it. One day I remember scrolling, you know, on my lock page, a lot of lock stars, you know, lock individuals who share their lock journey. And one in particular is a lock star named Keisha Charmaine. I've been following her for, you know, about a year. And I remember one day realizing that she had her second ear hole pierced. And I'm like, why I never thought of that? You know what I mean? Because the only thing that was holding me back was getting my front ones done. And I really didn't want to pierce my, you know, stretch my first, I said pierce, but she had her second ear holes stretched. And the only reason why, you know, I didn't want to stretch my first ear hole is because I enjoy wearing earrings, you know, chandelier earrings. You know, I did some research, and I wasn't with the chandelier earrings that came, you know, with the whole, you know, stretch, because I knew I didn't want to go big, you know what I mean? But I wanted to go big enough for you to see it. So as soon as I seen that, I say within that day, I went online, ordered an ear stretching kit, and it was all you wrote from there. So Keisha Charmaine is a lock star, and she definitely inspired me to begin my ear stretching journey because I realized that I can do it from the second ear hole, and I have never seen anyone do it that way before, of course, until later after the fact. But she was the first that I seen with her second ear hole stretch, so I thought that was pretty dope. So yeah, that's why I started my journey. That's why I started my journey at the time that I started my journey. And that brings me to the next question. When did you start your ear stretching journey? I began my ear stretching journey, I believe it was, I want to say September of 20, I know I'm supposed to have this down packed, but I keep going through this. It was September of 2018. That's when I started. Which brings me to the next question. What gauge did I start with? So I started with the 18 gauge. There was this chick that worked at my job, and at the time I was working for a bank, and a corporate bank at that, and you know, she had her ears like super stretched, and I was just like, oh, you know, I plan on starting my ear stretching journey, this, that, and the third. So she gave me some tips, and I told her that I was going to start with like an 18 gauge, and she was just like, looking at your ears is already an 18 gauge. She said, I think you should start with a 16 gauge. So the 16 gauge was the size that I started with, you know, which wasn't nothing. Like, I really felt like I could have even started with a 14 gauge, which I did happen to do like within the next week or two, because like my second ear holes was a little bit stretched, which is weird. I don't know why, but I do want to, you know, let you guys know that I pierced my second ear hole. So this is like, the second ear hole is all me, okay? So like when I was 16 years old, I really wanted a second ear hole. My mom said no, and I knew that you can take ice and poke a needle through it, and that's exactly how I got my second ear hole. I was in Connecticut staying with my grandmother for the summer. Well, I was in Connecticut for the summer to babysit my cousin, but I was staying with my grandmother at this particular time, like for this weekend or something. And I remember like getting a safety pin, you know, burning the tip, you know what I mean, for sterilization purposes, you know, wiped it down with alcohol and burned it, wiped it down again with some alcohol, put the ice on my ear until I couldn't feel anything, and poked the mother effer through. There wasn't no blood or anything. So in case you guys want to know how to do it yourself, that's how, okay? Because it was successful to me. And I've had these piercings in my ear, and now I'm stretching them. So yeah. The question that I do get a lot is, do it hurt? Yes, it does hurt. It don't start off hurting, but when you get somewhere between like the 6 to 8, 8 to 6 gauge, that's when you start feeling the difference. Because like I said, like in the beginning, it's like, oh, I can go up another size, because it's really like no difference. They're very small stretches, you know, and they're very close together. But the bigger and bigger you get, the more like pain it feels. Okay, and to go along with does it hurt, what does like describe the pain? So to me, if you watch any of my other ear stretching videos, the links will be in the video. I always describe the pain from ear stretching feeling like a burning or like your ears are on fire sensation. And I don't mean like ha on fire, but that, you know what I mean? Like just imagine like something stretching, like your skin, like a rug burn, but it's not like a rug burn. You know what I mean? Like it does feel like, to me, like your ears are burning or like on fire, but it's tolerable at the same time. It's so weird. Yeah, moving on to the next question. Okay, what size are you now? The size that I am currently at is a 0. I made it to a 0, guys. That is crazy. Like, which brings me to the next question. What was your first goal size? So initially, my first goal size was a size 2G. And when I got to a 2G, I was like, wait, you know what? I think it was a 4G. And then when I got to a 4G, I'm like, I think I can go up another size. And I got to the 2G and I'm like, okay, so that's where I'm going to be at. Then I looked at the 2G and I'm like, this is actually not that big. Like, I really want it obvious that I have plugs in my ears, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, let me go up another size. So I stayed at 2G for a while. And then you know, I think I lost one of my, no, that didn't happen yet. So then I went from a 2G, I had to start the ear stretching from, you know, in my 2G journey, I had to start my 2G stretch again, because like one day, like I already had it in for like 6 weeks, and one day like I took it out because I had like acrylics and they were bothering me. So I took it out, you know, to take it out overnight, and like 24 hours later I went to put it back in, and it literally like closed back up to a freaking 4G. So I had to restart that stretch again, so I wasn't able to, you know, move. So then I finally went and did some research and decided that, hey, I can actually stretch to a 1G. So I went to do that. And I thought once I got to a 1G, like that is where I was going to stay. And then I got to a 1G, and which was all recently, the 1G phase. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready to go to a 0. And I am here at a 0. So now that I'm here, I'm thinking about going, I don't know, like a half, I don't know, like whatever the next one is, I'm thinking about it. I know I can't get too big, as somebody mentioned in my comment section, like I don't have enough earlobe here, and that's true, I don't have enough earlobes. So I may stay here, I may go up, like if I can find an in-between size, then I'll go up like that half size or whatever. But I'm really comfortable with these, you know. I feel like they're large enough for, you know, like this could be the end. But ear stretching is very addictive, you guys. I just want to caution you that, like, you think you're done stretching, and you know, now I'm like sitting back thinking like maybe I should have just stretched my front ear hole. But no, child, like I really enjoy wearing my chandeliers, okay? I really, and this is the whole purpose I went with the second hole, because if I don't feel like wearing chandeliers, I'll always have this here that has that still king uniqueness, but I still have the opportunity to put chandeliers on, which I have no problem doing. So another question is, where do you purchase your tunnels? I get my tunnels obviously from Amazon, okay? I will leave the different vendors that I purchase through on Amazon. I will leave the different jewelry shops on there so you guys can, you know, purchase, and you know the gauges that I used to purchase them. I also purchased my ear stretching kit there, a few of them actually. I think I had 3 ear stretching kits that I purchased, and it's the one that I initially started with, and then there's when I went to a 2G, and then when I went to a 1G, and then I went to a 0G. So yeah, shout outs to Mom Fuel. You know, piggyback off of like where I purchased my tunnels, my favorite ear jeweler is, I would have to say, is Urban Body Jewelry. That's not where I got these from, which I should have, but I feel like it's too much and I don't like how this sticks out. Like I really want something clean, so I think I'm gonna just order, you know, another thing of tunnels or whatever from there. Best ear stretching oil to use. So from the beginning, I've been using tea tree oil, and tea tree oil to me has been great. I've been using all natural, 100% pharmaceutical grade tea tree oil within my last stretch. And from the beginning, I've been using the tea tree oil that have other oils mixed within it. That was like a hair oil. So, you know, that was good as well. So to me, tea tree oil, I've seen people use coconut oil, virgin olive oil, but tea tree oil is kind of like an antiseptic kind of thing. So it really works really, really, really good. So I would go with that. Yeah, does it stink? And describe the cleaning process. Okay, so we all know your earrings can get very dirty if you're not cleaning them properly. Okay, so you got to make sure you clean them properly. Same thing when it comes to the tunnels. It's just a bigger mess. So learning that, dealing with it, because like, especially like if you have earrings that are meant to stay in your ears, you're not taking them out every single day. So I've learned, this is one of the reasons why I do enjoy having it at this length, because I am able to like really go around and clean it, and I take it out like to thoroughly clean it, soak it, take a Q-tip and go inside because sometimes it gets a little debris in it. I'm able to do that once a week. So I advise, if you don't clean them every single day, like, where you soak them, definitely, take a cloth and Q-tip and, do what you can. And just keep it gook free, you know what I mean? You won't have any irritation, you won't have any, stenches or odors, you'll be good. I've learned that when it's not, cleaned properly, or, when it does need cleaning, your ears will tend to get a little irritating, you know what I mean? So you might want to do that and, put some oil on it. That's another thing you can do, just massage some oil on it, putting it back in. How long does it take to heal? That was another popular question that I've gotten. To be honest, I don't even really know. I don't even really know how long it takes to heal, because like I said, when I was either a 4G or a 2G, and I got stuck repeating that process again. I was a 2G, and then I had to go back to a 4G because I left it out for 24 hours, and this was after 6 weeks of being stretched at 2G. I left my my gauges out for 24 hours. I went to put them back in, and I could not. I had to go back to the size previously and slowly re-stretch to get back to that too. So I say I don't know how long it takes, but how long it takes to heal, physically. But when it comes to the pain tolerance, for me, normally the pain goes, okay, so while you're stretching is the worst pain that you'll feel. After your stretch, you'll feel it without touching it, for the rest of the day. You'll feel that, like a little slight ear burning sensation, but like, tolerable nonetheless. And by the next morning, it will only be tender to the touch for another day or two. After that, you don't feel it. But just because you don't feel it don't mean it's completely healed and you're ready to go on to your next stretch. That was the misconception that I had. But if there's no pain or is it tolerable, then by all means, go on to your next stretch. You know what I mean? My whole thing is don't force something that don't want to be. You know what I mean? In my last ear stretching video, this ear actually was stretched a lot longer than this ear, and this was always my problem ear, which is so funny because this was my problem ear prior to stretching. Now this is my problem ear, after stretching. So I don't know, they got a mind of its own. Okay, so yeah, so I don't even know really how long it takes to heal. I have no idea, but I just say, keep the mother effers in. If you take it out because you get a little irritated, like I said, clean them really good, massage it with some oil for a few minutes and pop them back in. You know what I mean? Or purchase another. I think that's what it was also. My ears were irritated by, the type of, the material that my tunnels were in, my plugs were in. So, that bothered me, and I'm like, I just need to take it out. So, sometimes you just may need to purchase from another vendor. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get it from Amazon to be cheap, and sometimes it's too cheap. So just be careful with that. Read the reviews. Mostly you'll see whether it irritated them or not. But again, cleaning plays a big factor into that as well. Okay. Have you ever had a blowout? Thankfully, hell no. So let me describe a blowout. To me, this is literally what a blowout is. it looks like a bleeding butthole. Do I know what a bleeding butthole look like? No, I do not. But I know what a butthole look like, and I know what blood look like, and I just put 2 and 2 together. I have never, thankfully, had a blowout. Blowouts are something that you get when you force a stretch too soon or go up too big, and you have no business doing that. I've always been very conscientious of when to proceed to the next size. You know, I always gave it time that I felt I needed. And the one thing that I had grasped prior to starting my ear stretching journey by watching other videos is, you know, they say if you feel pain, stop. Now, granted, when you get to a certain, you know, size, you're going to feel pain. You know what I mean? So, like, bring it back to this recent stretch. This ear wouldn't budge for nothing. And I wasn't finna, like, it just wasn't going. And I wasn't about to make it go. So if your ear is telling you no, now's not the time, then just wait. You know what I mean? I waited like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And that's really because I was being lazy. But you didn't have to wait 3 weeks. You know what I mean? I waited 3 weeks. And really what it was I had lost one of the tunnels because it had the O-rings on them. It wasn't a screw. Had the O-rings on them, so one of them fell out. So for 24 hours, I will alternate the one tunnel the one plug that I had between the two. You know what I mean? So on the day that I decided to go up a stretch, this ear had the plug in for the 24 hours. This one didn't. So, you know what I mean? Like I told you, it kind of go back down in size. You know, you got to keep them things in your ears. So I really believe that's what was the reason why I didn't. So I said, okay. So I had this one at a 1 and this one at a 0 for 3 weeks. And when it was time for me to stretch, as you seen in the last ear stretching video, it went right in with no problem. You know what I mean? Not even a little bit of a problem. So, you know, I've never received a blowout. I've never had any bleeding whatsoever. My ear holes have never looked like a ruddy butthole. But that's because I proceeded with a lot of caution. I believe in listening to your body and taking very good care of yourself. So pace yourself. The time will come when you can go up another size. Listen to them ears, okay? So I told you guys why I wanted to go with my second ear hole. And obviously I started my ear stretching journey. I mean, I'm just a firm believer. If you can do it yourself, I'm a DIY queen. If you can do it yourself, do it yourself. You know what I mean? If you can maintain them yourself, do it yourself. So that's what I was doing. Do you have trouble with jobs, getting jobs? So like I said, I try to keep it very conservative, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not stretching to an outrageous size, but at the same time, it's here, you know what I mean? And I have been working in a corporate office where I've seen, you know, people who ears were more stretched than mine, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, big. Could have been doubles. I think she was a 00 actually. So I guess it just depends on the job, your workplace, you know, your relationship with your employer. You know, I think it depends on a lot of factors, but I can see it being a problem, you know what I mean? So worst come to worst, just cover it, you know, with your hair if you got some, you know what I mean? But usually if you are stretching your ears, you already decided that wherever you work or whatever the case may be, like that's who you are. You're not a conservative queen. You are free-spirited, and wherever you go is going to accept you as you are. So it shouldn't be a problem. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That is it. Yeah, that's it, guys. So if there are any additional questions that you would like for me to answer, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment box and ask. I am very interactive. The reason why you don't see old responses to previous videos is because when I switched my brand over to, you know, from the platform that it was currently on to another one, or previously on to the current one, it informed me that all my responses to comments will be deleted. So, you know, but I am very interactive. So if you have any questions about my ear stretching journey, any suggestions, anything that you think would help anyone watching the video aside from myself, because I don't know, I think I may stay at this length because I don't know, I don't think I have another stretch left in me. So I think I just need to enjoy what I have. You know what I mean? The zero is pretty cool. But yeah, so, you know, please feel free to leave suggestions down here that may also help, things that you think anybody watching this video could learn from. And if I can answer any of your questions, please feel free. I have been stretching for over a year now. I didn't imagine it would take this long to stretch. I remember watching videos, and you know, that's like, I've seen people that stretch and get to where they want to go, that from A to B, but those are people that, you know, eventually experience blowouts. I took my time with it, you know, I wasn't rushing, and you know, when I started to get in certain sizes of gauge, I really sometimes took the time to enjoy that size. You know what I mean? Like, I remember one time, I think I was a 4G. I stretched, and then I got like different color, plugs. So I was enjoying playing with the plugs for a while, you know. So like, take your time, enjoy the sizes, you know, as you get larger. Before you reach your goal size, you're definitely gonna probably change your goal size, you know, the more you get, especially if you're somebody like me, you're very addicted to it. But this was a fun journey. It was a great experience, and I guess we're gonna say that's the end of my ear stretching journey. So I will give you guys like a cleaning video kind of thing, and after that, that's pretty much it. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in and checking your girl out as always. If this is your first time here, welcome, Mother Effa. And if you are interested in lock hair and in my lock journey, please feel free to check those videos out, as well as just me rambling about anything, y'all. So anyways, peace and love and harmony, and be blessed. Oh yeah, guys, okay, so obviously you see I let my hair down, okay, real quick. My hair is soaked and wet. Not soaked and wet, it's drying now, but like, if you see this is not oil stains. My hair is literally wet. But I had to wash my hair, you guys. I had to wash my hair. You know, I'm all about my locks. Ear stretching journey and all, I'm all about my locks. Know that about me. Every video I post, every video. It's the wine talking, right? But I'm all about my locks and the color of my hair. Like, hello color, hello highlights, hello ombre.